You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Welcome to another Deep Dive. Today we're taking a truly unique journey. Forget dense research papers or, complicated studies for a moment, because our source material today might seem, well, at first glance, like a charming children's story.
Right.
But I promise you, it's absolutely packed with surprising, actionable insights about perspective, resilience, and where we find our joy.
Yeah.
Our mission today is to uncover the profound wisdom tucked away in the delightful narrative of a very determined feline.
And that's precisely what's so compelling about this deep dive into Noodle the Cat and the Playful Sprinkler.
Yeah.
While we often delve into complex data, this story brilliantly illustrates how deep understanding can spring from the most unexpected places. It's like a masterclass in how a seemingly simple tale can reflect universal truths about navigating challenges and embracing change in our lives.
Okay, let's unpack this with Noodle, who, as our source describes her, is unequivocally the queen of her backyard.
Definitely the queen.
You can just picture it, can't you? She lounged in every sunbeam. She pounced on butterflies with supreme confidence, and she guarded her favorite gnat patch like royalty.
Total control.
Everything was exactly where it should be, perfectly under her paw. Her domain was orderly, predictable, and, utterly hers.
It's that sense of established order that really sets the stage. Noodle has built her world, and it functions precisely as she expects.
Right.
This gives us a baseline for understanding her reaction when that order is, well, inevitably disrupted. It's a relatable human experience, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
When our routines or expectations are suddenly challenged, our initial response is rarely one of calm acceptance.
Precisely, because then a new contender arrived to challenge her reign. The dreaded lawn sprinkler.
The antagonist arrives.
And it wasn't just there. Our source describes it as an active, almost like aggressive presence. It hissed and spun, spraying water in all directions.
PSSSHHHHH.
Yeah. That onomatopoeia the author uses, PSAHH, swoosh fungus. It perfectly captures its intrusive nature. To Noodle, this wasn't just some benign garden tool. Oh, no.
No, yeah.
It was mocking her. A direct affront to her regal sensibilities, a genuine threat to her carefully constructed peace.
What immediately stands out here is Noodle's instantaneous interpretation of the sprinkler as an adversary.
Right, immediately.
She doesn't perceive it as a neutral object or, a necessary function of the garden. Instead, it's an active enemy that needs to be conquered.
An enemy?
This is a classic example of what we sometimes call attribution bias. We assign intent, often negative, to something new or disruptive rather than simply observing its behavior. It makes you wonder how often we do this in our own lives, right? Taking a new situation or a change and immediately framing it as a battle.
And Noodle, being the queen she is, was absolutely not one to back down from a challenge. Not Noodle.
Definitely not.
We learned, she declared with a determined flick of her tail, today, the sprinkler meets its match. Her spirit is undeniable. So she embarks on this series of ingenious, if, well, ultimately futile strategies to deal with this perceived enemy. Let's dive into her campaign.
It's important to note that Noodle's determination isn't really the problem here.
No.
But rather the direction of that determination.
Yeah.
She's kind of locked into a conflict mindset from the get-go.
Okay. Her first plan, as our source vividly recounts, was a stealth attack. You can practically see her.
Like a little ninja cat.
Totally. Crawling low through the grass like a tiger, ready to pounce. She's a hunter, pure and simple, eyeing her prey, convinced she can ambush and disable it. But just as she leapt, swoosh.
Oh, no.
The sprinkler, almost with a mind of its own, turned, blasting her straight into the flower bed. A complete, drenching failure.
This initial direct confrontation. It's often our very first instinct, isn't it, when we encounter a perceived challenge?
Yeah, just go right at it.
We try to pounce on the problem, believing we can overpower it through sheer force or, like, cunning. But as Noodle learned in that soggy flower bed, when the challenge is dynamic and unpredictable, a head-on attack can backfire spectacularly.
So true.
It's like trying to fight the tide. Sometimes the sheer force and constant movement make a direct assault completely ineffective, leaving us, more drenched than victorious.
Undeterred, though, after shaking herself off, Noodle pivoted to defensive measures.
Plan B.
The source describes her next brilliant strategy. She stacked garden gnomes like a barricade.
You have to love that visual.
I just love that image. A determined cat meticulously arranging these little plastic garden ornaments.
Building her fortress.
But of course, the spunkler was too clever, or maybe just indifferent to her efforts. Its spray shot over their heads, giving every gnome a bubble beard while Noodle got soaked again.
Oh, the bubble beards.
Her elaborate defenses were utterly useless.
This is such a humorous, yet really insightful moment. Attempting to build static defenses against a dynamic, unstoppable force, it's deeply illustrative of human behavior.
How so?
Well, it highlights our innate desire for control, our tendency to try and erect barriers against things we don't fully understand or maybe fear.
Yeah.
Like Noodle's gnome fort, we can expend significant effort building these elaborate protections, only to find the problem simply bypasses them.
Right.
Leading to wasted energy, frustration, and still ending up completely drenched, metaphorically speaking, by the very thing we were trying to keep out.
So it points to a failure to understand the nature of the threat itself.
Exactly. You're trying to solve the wrong problem, or maybe solving it the wrong way.
And Noodle wasn't done yet. She was nothing if not persistent.
I give her that.
She then tried disguises. Our source paints this wonderful picture of her donning a cardboard box helmet, a leaf umbrella, even wrapping herself in a beach towel.
Amazing. The outfits.
You can almost see her, a tiny furry warrior in these comical outfits, absolutely determined to remain dry. But alas, the source bluntly states, none worked. The sprinkler always found her. It was relentless, utterly defeating every creative attempt.
Her persistence with these very tactics, from stealth to defense to elaborate disguises, certainly showcases Noodle's creativity and her unwavering resolve.
For sure.
However, it also points to a fundamental inflexibility in her ultimate goal, which was basically to defeat the sprinkler.
Ah, okay. She never questioned that goal.
Exactly. She never questioned that objective, only the methods. This brings up a critical distinction for us. We're often told never give up, right? And persistence is usually seen as a virtue.
Yeah, grit, determination.
So how do we know where that line is? When does admirable persistence cross over into, like, counterproductive stubbornness, especially when our efforts aren't changing the outcome?
That's a really sharp distinction, because you're right. We're conditioned to believe that if we just try harder, try differently, we'll eventually overcome. But how do we even recognize that moment for ourselves?
Yeah.
When our persistence is becoming counterproductive without a crucial shift in our core perspective or our ultimate goal?
It often comes down to feedback loops. Noodle received clear, consistent feedback. She kept getting soaked.
Right. Very direct feedback.
If our actions consistently yield the same negative or undesirable result, despite varying tactics, it's a strong signal that the underlying strategy or even the core objective needs reevaluation. It's not about giving up on the challenge necessarily, but perhaps redefining what winning looks like.
Okay.
Or stepping back to understand the true nature of the opponent, or in this case, the obstacle.
And Noodle eventually reached that point. After all her valiant yet soaking efforts, she was utterly defeated, at least for the moment.
Worn out.
Our source describes her as exhausted, dripping, and sneezing, and she plopped on the porch, just giving up.
Surrender.
It's in this moment of surrender, this moment of pure, unadulterated feline exhaustion, that something truly incredible happened. She stopped fighting.
And this pause is crucial. I mean, when we're in the thick of battle, our minds are focused on overcoming, on tactics, on defense.
Right, just the fight.
But when that energy is depleted and we simply stop, it can open up a different kind of awareness.
Exactly. As she lay there, still and defeated, she noticed something strange. The sprinkler spray, the very thing that had been her arch nemesis, now made little rainbows dance across the lawn.
Ah, the shift.
And it wasn't just that. Butterflies, instead of being chased, now fluttered through the mist, seemingly enjoying it.
Wow.
Even the flowers, the very flora of her domain, perked up brighter than ever thanks to the water.
What's fascinating here is that the enemy had been creating beauty, life, and vibrancy all along.
Yeah.
Noodle's physical and mental exhaustion seemed to have been the catalyst. It opened her up to simply observing rather than fighting.
Just seeing.
No longer consumed by the battle, she could truly see what was happening. Her ears twitched, and our source gives us her profound realization. Maybe the sprinkler isn't my enemy after all.
The aha moment.
This is the core aha moment.
Ah.
Powerful example of what psychologists sometimes call cognitive reframing.
Cognitive reframing. Oh,
She didn't change the sprinkler. She fundamentally reevaluated its meaning to her.
that's a powerful idea. Cognitive reframing. It's not just seeing things differently, but actively reevaluating the meaning of something. So what allowed her to do that in that moment of exhaustion?
Good question.
And how can we actively prompt that reframe ourselves rather than just hoping it happens when we're, utterly defeated?
That's the key, isn't it? For Noodle, exhaustion forced a cessation of effort, which led to passive observation.
Right.
For us, we can consciously build in those moments of pause. It could be taking a literal step back from a problem, seeking out new information, or even engaging in a completely different activity to clear our minds.
So it creates space.
It's about creating space for that shift in perspective, moving from an emotional, threat-based interpretation to a more neutral, curious observation of the facts. What's actually happening here?
So what did this all mean for Noodle from that moment on? Her entire approach to the sprinkler completely changed.
Total transformation.
She still stalked it every afternoon, which, let's be honest, is peak cat behavior. That innate curiosity isn't going anywhere.
Can't stop being a cat.
But instead of attacking, her purpose had shifted. She now chased rainbows through the mist, pouncing and playing until she flopped happily on the porch, drenched but purring.
Drenched but purring. I love that.
What a profound transformation.
This transformation is absolutely key. She didn't conquer the sprinkler. She changed her relationship with it.
Relationship, yeah.
She shifted her perception from viewing it as an obstacle, a threat,
Yeah.
to seeing it as a source of play and wonder, a creator of joy. This is a powerful lesson about adaptation. Not just tolerating a situation, but actively finding joy and new possibilities in unexpected places, even in things we initially resented or resisted.
Finding agency.
It's about finding agency in reinterpreting rather than just reacting.
Such a great way to put it, finding agency and reinterpreting. So beyond the delightful story of a cat and a sprinkler, what are the truly actionable nuggets of knowledge we can take away from this deep dive into Noodle's world?
Yeah, the takeaways.
Our source specifically highlights a few crucial lessons for us, ones that absolutely resonate in our own lives.
First, and perhaps most importantly, is the idea that sometimes what feels like an obstacle can become something wonderful when seen from a new perspective.
That reframing piece again.
Exactly. Noodle's journey is a perfect illustration of how that cognitive reframing isn't just a nice thought. It's a powerful tool for transforming our experience. It asks us to consider what sprinklers are in your own life. Those persistent irritations, those unexpected challenges, those things you're constantly battling, that might actually be offering something beautiful, something beneficial that you're currently too busy fighting to see.
Yeah.
How might you actively seek out those alternative interpretations?
That's a truly profound challenge to consider. It implies a conscious effort to look for the upside, doesn't it?
It does.
Another great point the source makes is that persistence and creativity are good, but so is flexibility.
Yes, flexibility.
Noodle was incredibly persistent and undeniably creative in her attempts to defeat the sprinkler. But it was her flexibility and approach, her willingness to pivot from fighting against to playing with, that ultimately led her to happiness and a purring, drenched contentment.
Right.
It's not just about trying harder, but sometimes trying completely differently.
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture of navigating our own daily lives, knowing when to pivot, when to stop fighting against something, and instead start playing with it or embracing it, that can be an absolute game changer.
Yeah.
It's about adapting not just our tactics, but our entire mindset towards perceived challenges.
Yeah.
It brings to mind that old saying about knowing when to hold them and when to fold them.
Right.
Or in Noodle's case, when to chase rainbows instead.
And finally, a lovely, simple takeaway from Noodle's story. Finding joy in unexpected places makes life brighter.
Simple but powerful.
Noodle's discovery of rainbows and play completely transformed her entire afternoon routine. It's a wonderful reminder that sometimes the fun hidden in the splash is exactly what we need. And it's often right there, waiting for us to notice it if we just shift our focus.
That fun hidden in the splash is such a great metaphor for actively choosing to engage with situations that might initially seem negative.
Choosing to engage.
Yeah, it's about finding points of connection, curiosity, or even humor in challenging circumstances. And that active choice can profoundly impact our well-being, turning a source of frustration into a source of, well, delight.
What an insightful deep dive into Noodle's world. Seriously. We started with a cat at war with a sprinkler.
The epic battle.
And we ended with profound lessons about cognitive reframing, the power of flexibility, and actively finding joy in the most unexpected corners of our lives. You can truly see how a simple, charming story can offer so much wisdom,
It really can.
elevating common observations into actionable insights.
Indeed. This deep dive into Noodle the Cat and the Playful Sprinkler truly reminds us that not every challenge needs to be conquered. Sometimes it's better to play along and discover the fun hidden in the splash.
Play along.
As you go about your day, we encourage you, look for the rainbows in the mist that might be dancing around your own perceived obstacles.
Yeah.
What would happen if, like Noodle, you paused the fight and simply decided to play?
Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep an open mind to the unexpected wonders and hidden joys all around you.